Hey, what's up, YouTube? George here, Trading Futures Live, where we trade futures live every single day in front of the camera. We show you our winners, we show you our losers. We try and be as transparent as possible. I'm rolling solo today. Normally, I got one or two other guys with me. One of them had a baby late last week, and the other one has some other things they're taking care of. So rolling solo again very quickly. Trading is inherently risky and can result in the loss of capital. So please do not take any of our trades or copy any of our trades. We are here for educational purposes only. And so that being said, let's go ahead and jump right in. We had the pre-market analysis at 9 a.m. Not much going on in the news today. We do have 10 a.m. housing market index. We did have the Empire State Manufacturing Index at 8:30. That did come in worse than expected. Oh, and this just got added. FOMC member Waller speaks at 10:50. So we're just going to want to be aware of these two news events at 10 and 10:50. Not anything major necessarily though. At 10 a.m. the housing market. The major news on the week is going to be more so on Wednesday. If we go ahead and take a look at the markets so far, four major indexes here to the left, and they are all below yesterday's close on Friday, and three of them below the 21 EMA that I have marked there. The NQ holding above right now, but Dow's looking weak here, Russell's looking weak, and the ES is looking pretty weak as well. So we'll see what happens, what kind of reaction we get off of there. If we take a look at the dollar's starting to drop, but it did push higher in the entire morning, and it went up on Friday, and it also went up near the end of the day. It closed lower, but it had a strong push on Thursday, so the last nice little run up there, holding a trend line there. We'll see if it that holds or if that breaks. I'm even going to mark that out there just for reference. And crude below 87.23, holding, well, I don't necessarily want to say holding below 90, but it is below 90. It needs to come up and test and push back down, and then I would say holding below 90. Gold below 1800, and the VIX, all the markets are down. The VIX gapped up, and we'll see. We'll also take a look at the internals as soon as the market opens. We've got a minute 50 left, a minute 50 something left. Markets are pulling back a little bit right now. We had a few strong runs down, and we are pulling back right now as of 9 a.m. some. I am very, very neutral. Today, we're inside of Friday. We look at the weekly. I'm still bearish on the weekly until it breaks this trend line, retests, and then continues back up. But until it makes a higher low, I'm still bearish on the weekly. We do have the daily. Right now, we're trapped between the 200 SMA and the 200 EMA. Another reason for me to be neutral, even on this time frame. Neutral to maybe neutral bullish, but we've had quite a run up. So I'm neutral here, just kind of expecting some exhaustion and maybe a retest down here. So need it to really break the 200 SMA for me to try and get bullish again here. I could see it chopping around here for a little bit. And then if we go ahead and take a look at this 30, right, we have a trend line here from the last 3 days, essentially. This was the CPI news last Wednesday. The market shot up pre-market, and since then has been holding this trend line. So we've got some quality demand areas down here that we need to watch out for. And we also have some supply up here, but like, for example, this is overnight supply. This is the overnight high. It is the high from Friday. So that would be my initial supply area. This is pre-market supply. right? And so we can make a run up here and break and test up here before we really find some good supply. But we'll see if the market wants to continue down. We are open. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Tom, Stahl, Robert. When will Katana be available? I do not know at the moment, to tell you the truth. I will reach out today, though, and try and find out for you. All right, so we are open. We are pushing right now. Let's see what kind of volume we have. It's not necessarily, doesn't look like it's going to be great volume today. It is Monday, not much in the news over the weekend. So the market's opened down. Let's see what the internals tell us as well. Opening down as well as expected if we're gapping down. So we'll give that a few minutes. That's a negative 1500 basically on both advanced declines. VIX is holding up. Dollar, let's go to the 15-minute there. So if the dollar continues to come down, we would be looking more to go long. We'd like to see confirmation from these internals. The advanced declines trending up and the tick charts trending up, even though they opened up in negative territory, doesn't mean the chart couldn't just go straight up. It's opening up in negative territory because we gap down, but we'll see what kind of reaction we get. Came up into pre-market resistance here. Getting rejected off right now. Not great volume. Probably even less volume than, not less volume than Friday thus far, but not great volume. I'd like to see this above 15,000. Really, 15,000 is kind of my line in the sand for this volume here. We're at 13.5 essentially. So rejection did not hold. About a minute 40 in this first 5 minutes. So far, the ES has done 29.5 points. Daily ATR 71. So still less than half. So we can certainly run in any direction today. And so we'll just wait it out and see. Today could just be quite the ranging day, though, right? Monday, slow Monday potentially. Did have a nice push Friday. Friday, basically, the markets just opened, chopped around for a little bit. I got stopped out in my first long, and then at around 11 a.m. broke out and just continued to push. I was able to get in after the loss and write it up. This was my first exit, my second exit, and my third exit. And it continued even further after that. So had a couple of add-ons as well, but I was stopped out, got in long here, was stopped out, got in long again finally, added on here, and started to scale out as price came up. All right, 10 seconds in this 5 minute. Volume up around 25,000. Above Friday's open, but we'll see We'll see, it got up as high as 28. So again, not necessarily great volume. We did push and we did close up in this pre-market resistance area. Let's see if we continue to push. We'll see what the internals continue to say. The NQ has already made it back to the 0 line and breaking through. See if this these internals pick a direction. For the moment, though, guys, we are going to stay very, very, very patient. Very patient. No need to rush into anything. Let the market kind of figure itself out. Take in any news from the weekend. Again, I am neutral. And what I forgot to do in the pre-market, and I've even forgotten thus far, I haven't done any of my if-then statements. For the most part, being neutral, though, I'm going to be more so looking for rejections off, reversal trades. Even as far down as these lows. I won't necessarily be, and then we even have this 4,200 down here. This is a very good demand level, I think, that I would still want to be long from here. Not to say that I can't get short, maybe breaking below this zone. And I could see breaking below my first demand level here. Breaking below, maybe trying to ride it, take it down to the 4,200. But I would want to see a strong, which won't necessarily happen today, but a strong break below that 4,200 and like a retest to try and get short there. To the long side, though, we'll see what happens at these overnight highs. To the long side, though, if it does break out long, I could look to get long there. Because the high of that triple top over here on the daily from back as far back as May 5th to April 22nd is basically like 4305-ish, 4305, which is this zone up here, right? So maybe not that strong of a push there, but if we get a strong break above Friday's high and some sort of pullback, I could get long to trade this area. I would want to get in basically at 42.90 or below to have some profit potential there. I certainly like my profit potentials being long from a pullback over here, though, first. So we're going to be very patient today, guys. You might get bored, and I do apologize, but I do think that boring trading is good trading. Not that good trading should be boring. Let's put it that way. Got the overnights there marked out. We look here at the RTH, we gap down some. Got a big gap here from the CPI on Wednesday. Somewhat of a gap still here. And I want to point out, right to the downside, we have a couple of naked POCs, 42.30, and even another one down at 41.97. So basically that 4,200 that I talked about as a potential area for price to come. That's a full retracement of the value area thus far. Basically since 9 a.m. to retrace the entire value area. Volume dropped off tremendously after the first 2-minute candle, which is even lower volume. You'll notice last on Friday, the first candle wasn't great, but the next few candles had quite a bit of volume in them. Not having that today. So we'll see. I'm going to keep an eye on the volume. Because of the lower volume, if we have any volume spikes, those are going to be areas that I'm going to want to take a look at and potentially use as a zone for a potential trade. And so that's why that's the main reason I have the volume here, especially on the 2-minute. Not the exact example because I don't consider the first candle really to create a level per se, but the volume spike in that first candle, if we had a decent, a more decent leg out than just this one, if we maybe had pushed up into here, and I was now biased long, I would consider that candle to be my zone to get long from, because it has the volume in that push to really turn price around. Just a bit too early for me to consider that at the moment. Good morning, Python. So the tick charts, especially here for the ES, certainly trending up. The NQ kind of bounced off the zero line, but breaking to a new high now. The advanced decline, though, more choppy than anything, hasn't really picked a direction. Would have loved to see that break to the upside here and kind of maybe pick a direction. But we're getting mixed signals right now. It's the NQ making a new low there, basically, while the tick chart's pushing to a high, so keep an eye on these internals, see what kind of reaction we get here off the zero line. Do we come and test these lows again, or do we kind of chop around and maybe make a new high? So we got some consolidation going on right now. And really we'd like to see, do we get a breakout or do we start to break down? We break out, we do have the overnight high up here, and we do have Friday's high. And so we're still going to want to be patient because we've got some supply up there. So as I drew out there on the 30-minute, I'm more so going to be looking for maybe a rejection off of here. But, sorry. Maybe a rejection off of here to get short. It would need to break this high from Friday for me to want to get long. Until this point, 42.8275. My bias will essentially be short. Got a bit of some mixed signals from the four major indexes. We've got, I mean, the Dow is pushing quite strong as early. It's at the overnight high right now. The NQ actually already broke the overnight high and Friday's highs. As we said in the pre-market, the NQ was the strongest market, holding essentially above the 21 EMA, where the other ones were below the 21 EMA. So NQ's leading that charge right now. I would say followed by the YM, which is already at the overnight highs. ES has a bit more to go, but the Russell is very, very weak right now, potentially holding the other markets back. We do see the Russell break up, though. That'll give us some encouragement to get long. We'd also like to see the dollar coming down, potentially even like breaking that trend line if we're going to be long. This push didn't necessarily make it down to test Friday's highs, so might potentially have a little bit more room to go to the downside. We are going to stay patient, though. Put this on a 30. This could continue to grind higher without me, guys. I'm not going to rush into anything. Like we talked about on Friday, I like to wait for confirmation in my trades. And so this market hasn't picked a direction yet for me. Still got some mixed signals from the internals here as well. Advanced decline here is trending up on the NYSE, trending down on the NQ. At least this trend is holding here to the upside, but again, we've got divergence here between the advanced decline and the tick chart. We do have this tick though looking to be trending upwards as well, so we do have some confluence here. Would love to see the NQ advanced decline here start to push up and give us some more confluence here to the long side. At the same time, I'd like to see this dollar come down. Dollar down, VIX pushing down, and these trending up. Then I could get long, or think about getting long. All right, so we broke that pre-market resistance level. Got about 8.5 minutes left in this first 30. Showing some strength. The Russell still hasn't pushed higher though. The YM also still has not necessarily broken the overnight high yet. So still, the only one that's broken the overnight high and Friday's high is the NQ, but it is back below those levels right now. If you look at the NQ on a 15-minute, it's gotten rejected off of there quite harshly. It's a huge rejection, another rejection. We'll see how this 15-minute candle closes. Right? Does it close above these highs? Or does it close as a rejection candle? And then we can maybe monitor, right, the type of trade that I talked about on the NQ as far as getting rejected off. Maybe back down to maybe take that short. I do have some zones, I believe, marked out here. No. Do have some zones here on the daily. On the NQ, same thing though. This is the EMA, 200 EMA and the 200 SMA. NQ is trapped in between there right now. And it is in some supply right now, the same triple top as the ES. And so breaks above, we'd like to be long with caution here at this SMA. Breaks below, we'd like to be short to test these areas back again down here. But we did break essentially the weekly trend line on the NQ already. Right? This is the weekly trend line here that had formed, and we did break out of that last week. So, which the ES has still not made it to. So the markets are in a kind of like a no man's land right now. Hence why we're going to stay patient. Very, very patient. All right, that's tapping the overnight high there. NQ is now busting up very strongly. If we take a look at it on a 30, that's a heck of a push. Got 5 minutes left in this 30. So we're going to keep an eye, see how this 30 closes out. Maybe we get a strong push above and the close 30 closes above yesterday's close. And we might look to get long. Let's I want to keep an eye on the NQ as well. I'm going to have the NQ up on another screen because you may even catch me taking this on the NQ. Or the MNQ. See maybe what kind of pullback we get around 10 a.m. or just after. Any of you guys got anything out there? And again, guys, maybe if you're watching us for the first time, I'm only here to take 1 or 2 good trades a day. I'm not here to take 4 or 5. I don't even like it if I took 3. Because normally if I took 3 trades, probably wasn't a good day. I took 3 trades on Friday. I ended up +1, so I did actually make some money on Friday, but my first trade, which was a good trade, then I took a FOMO trade, so I was down 2R, and then I had to scratch and claw my way back in the third trade to even make back. Well, I made back the 2R quite quickly, but I had to scratch and claw for that last R. It was a miserable, like, 3.5-hour trade that if I would have been patient, not gotten caught in the FOMO, and not taken that second trade, I would have made my 1R on the day quite quickly. So we got 1 minute left till 10 a.m. Getting a push right now to Friday. We did break the overnight high. Getting a push to Friday's high. Just broke above that. Let's see where we close. We get a huge rejection in this last minute. I'm going to be looking to potentially get short. If we close bullish, though, we're going to look to get long. We should have had not a huge volume spike, but we got some volume in that. We got 25 seconds in this current candle. Want to see how it closes. And I'm going to continue watching it here on the 2 minute. The 2 minute is essentially my trading time frame. I don't really like to go smaller than that. 2 minutes gives me decent confirmation. I get faked out too often with a 1 minute chart. So, new 30 did not close above Friday's high. Could potentially be a false breakout. the internals. Advanced decline continues to push up. Tick charts trending up. Tick charts trending up on the NQ. Finally starting to break to a new high here on the NQ. Trying to figure itself out. We do see the dollar start to drop. We will see these markets continue to push up. The Russell did finally start to push up higher here, but still holding below the 21 EMA. And so we've got three markets pushing. The NQ is the only one that is very, very bullish. Obviously, the strongest market. I'm going to stay patient. I'm going to stay patient. Got a rejection candle there on that last 5-minute candle. Rejection candle on the 2-minute candle. I mean, yes, the 30-minute closed bullish near the highs, but did not close above. If it closed above, for sure I'd be saying we're looking for longs. But it also created quite a racetrack back down to come and test any one of these areas before trying to get long. And so I'm not long yet. My bias is still not long. I want to see a close above for me to get long. That's just the confirmation that I'm going to forcing myself to wait for. If it doesn't, we get a pullback, right? And we get a retest somewhere up in this area, I'm going to be looking to get short. Now, we did have this wide-ranging 2-minute candle here. It did have decent volume. Oh, this is the 5-minute. Did have decent volume. Let's check it on the 2-minute. Really, the highest volume spike here was the one that broke out. It's not necessarily anything in here that I'm going to consider to get long from right now. If this goes short, I would like to see some kind of retest. Hopefully it doesn't just leave without me. False breakout and see you later. So, again, we got to close above here. That's my confirmation to get long. If you traded the NQ, you could have gotten long. Did close above that line, pulled back. Let's see it on a 2-minute. Maybe waiting for this candle to close. You could have squeezed 30, 35 points out of it. The high volume candle from the open, not necessarily one I consider, but that's it being the highest volume. That's where it pulled back to before deciding to go long, so could have even squeezed almost 50 points out of it. All All right, pull back on the NQ. Let's see what we got going on here. Pull back. Internals here saying long. Unfortunately, the dollar continues to go long, but all of these internals are saying long. This is where I need to stay patient. Again, force myself to follow the rules. I want to see confirmation closing above here. All these internals are saying long, but the price chart hasn't confirmed it yet. It just has not confirmed that this wants to go long today. I am keeping an eye on the Russell because it's been the weakest, kind of holding everything back. I could be long NQ right now. Look at this high volume spike right here on this. Was this 2-minute candle? Sorry. No, could not be long on NQ yet. We're going to stay patient. Guys, also feel free to let me know if there's any questions you guys might have that you might want us to make a video on. Maybe some questions about our trading style or whatever that we could do a little bit better clarifying in its own video than when we're here live. Russell's starting to push back down. Internals are kind of trying to roll over. Let's go to the 15-minute here. Russell closed above the 21 EMA, but starting to push back down. See where it closes on this 15-minute and the internals here. Certainly continues to test this zero line, holding above though. Same on the NQ. And this advanced decline is trending up on both now. I mean, it did at least break this pivot here. See that break to a new high, confirming the upward trend here on the advanced decline. VIX continues to push down. We want to be long though. We want to see the dollar come down. The ES guys has done 35 points, so it's done half its ATR thus far. On the day, the NQ 139 points. Its daily ATR is 320, so less than half on the NQ. So there's still the potential for this to have more movement. Anybody taking a look at anything out there? The question kind of for me is this the high of the day? And so I want to be short if I do believe this is the high of the day. How will I get some confirmation that this will be the high of the day? Well, we are having the leg out, but a retest that gets rejected off. And that would give me some better confirmation that this could potentially be the high of the day. Could potentially even retest and maybe even false breakout from this high. So not even necessarily that the test just has to come and test down here somewhere. I mean, the retest could come in another false breakout even above that, right? A double top, and then some more push to the bottom. Could you be short already? You probably could, because we had this consolidation essentially, and now we have a nice solid bearish close below. But that is not my trading style. Although I do need to learn to be more aggressive, especially on the shorts, because we do have less retests on shorts than we do the longs. The longs, we certainly are to the downside. If we create lows, the market certainly likes to retest those lows more often than a high here. This could just come straight down from there without any type of potential retest. It's quite the rejection, though. Minute 30 in this 15. So looking to me like we're getting the pullback right now. Broke out, pull back. We'll see where it goes from there. Does it just continue to go without us? No trade so far. Market's been open for 45 minutes. The market did give a run up to the overnight highs and Friday's high, but so far it's looking like a false breakout. Thing with this pullback is that the Russell being the weakest on this pullback, it's still holding, these lows are holding quite well. The dollar, though, just continues to push up, kind of reinforcing the weakness here. All right, new 15. It's a decent pullback for the potential for it to go long. But again, I've drawn my line in the sand for longs. I need to be above, need to see a close above this line, Friday's highs, for me to be long. Until then, really I'm looking for a retest right now to get short. I have no line in the sand to the downside right now. No, like, my line in the sand to the downside is, I don't even know if it's this overnight low. I need to create a pivot up here somewhere to have a line in the sand to get short. I've got too much what I consider good demand down here to get short way down here. I'd like to get short somewhere up in this run up that it made to come and maybe take some off, right? Get short somewhere up in 42, up here, somewhere up here, 42.70-ish, give or take, I don't know, 10 points to try and take it down to this level here. Couple of potential supply areas where price could retest and come back down from. Not looking like it wants to retest anything right now. No pullback. All right, pull back here to the VWAP. See if maybe this is the pullback. A little bit of a volume spike there on that last 2-minute candle at the VWAP. Got some buyers that jumped in there. No high volume areas to short from here. Really just this, the high. It's the highest volume candle is that high. So I could be looking for a pullback to there. See what kind of reaction we get off. I would definitely need for some price action confirmation to then get short there. Five minutes left. Ooh. And Q looks like it's pulled back basically to the open. Yeah. It's pulled back practically to the open there. Or the NQ is not there yet. Not even close. Sorry, where the ES is not there yet. Very tight range here on the tick charts. Very small candles here on the advanced decline. We're going to continue to stay patient, guys. I don't have very much success making money when the advanced decline looks like this anyways. Right? We want to see nice wide-ranging candles while we're in the trade. This is looking quite choppy here. Starting flattened out. Was trending up. Has flattened out. New low here. Trying to see if it wants to roll over or not. See if it tests this low again, and then see what kind of reaction we get here off of the zero lines. Maybe it starts to hold now below the zero line. Still no pullback though to get short from. We got the breakdown. Waiting on the pullback to try and get short. That's it. Nice and simple. New 30, guys. Just a regular pullback on the 30. Still a ranging day inside of Friday's candle. This might be the breakout to the upside instead of just a retest. Got the Russell pushing up decently at the moment. Getting close to testing its recent high where none of the other... Getting close to testing this pivot high here, where the ES is still quite a bit of ways from there, so is the NQ. The Dow's there, so... But we want to see some follow through here from the Russell to give us some better confirmation. Remember, guys, I'm neutral on the day. And really, my line in the sand is the high from Friday. This blue line up here, the high from Friday. Above there, I'd be long. Below there, I'm looking to be short. So we're getting a pullback to retest. Or do we break through? We retest, we get some nice price action. I'm going to try and find a way in short. If we blow right through there, we got nice pushes on the tick chart right now. New highs. That's basically an even high, but a new high here on the ES. Advanced climbs rolling back over, trying to break through the 21 EMA. If it breaks to a new high there, that would be good. Again, we still want to see the dollar come push down, though. If if the market wants to go up. So not 100% confluence between all of our indicators, all of our internals. Russell's pushing quite well. Basically right at that pivot high. Same with the Dow. Now the NQ and the ES are the laggers. NQ was the leader at the open. Now it's lagging behind the Dow. Still probably up the most on the day. No, it's flat, and the Russell and the YM is flat. I mean, ES is down 0.1%. The Russell's the one that's down 0.5%. Could push through here quite hard to catch up. All right, came up, starting to get rejected off. Dollar continues to push up. Just breaking a pivot right now. Yeah, broke a pivot. Does have still some more supply up there though. Broke this pivot here. Still has the overnight high, but pushing up with some conviction there. We're going to keep an eye on this trend line as well. If it doesn't give us good price action to try and get in up here, gonna have to wait for it to break. This is how we trade here, with lots of patience. Waiting for the right trade. Waiting for my setup. I don't need to take 3, 4, 5 trades in a day. I need to take one good one. Try and make a couple R. And call it a day. So if you guys are just joining us, the ES broke out to the upside here, opened here at 9:30 a.m. Broke the overnight high and Friday's high. This blue line is Friday's high, but was quickly rejected off of there. And so that blue line is my line in the sand right now. A break above and a close above, I'll look to get long. But at the moment, what I'm looking for is some price action to get short, right? We broke out, we pulled back, we're retesting right now, and I'm trying to get in short. Just waiting for the right price action right now. That it's not necessarily giving me at the moment, and so we're just going to stay patient. And if it just grinds down without giving me that price action that I like to look for, then we're going to wait for it to break this trend line and wait for some price action here to try and get in. But for the moment, we're going to stay patient. Haven't taken any trades yet today. And that's the game plan. That is the game plan. The internals are mostly bullish, except the dollar. We need the dollar to turn around and come down. It is in some supply right now after this run up, so we'll see maybe if it gets rejected off of there and starts to come down. Because the advanced decline and the tick chart, for the most part, are essentially trending upwards, and the VIX is coming down, which is good for just a bullish signal. But the more time it spends up here trying to, I don't even want to say that it's trying to go long. It's not doing much of anything right now, but more time it spends at these highs and gets rejected off of there, the more I do want to be short. And you see a strong close above that blue line to get long. New highs on the tick Q. Testing the highs on the NYSE tick. Advanced declines are trending up. VIX continues to push down. For us to be long, we would love to see this dollar come down, though. All right, another rejection off of there. That is the kind of candle I like to see. Might be able to get short here. Could maybe think about getting 71.50. That's quite a large zone. $51.50 is just so that first target would be above the overnight low. I would certainly want to be hitting my first target above the overnight low. I'm not expecting it to necessarily break through and run. I could tighten up my stop, so we still have to, for it to come down all the way down to here, would have to come through the opening price, 58.25. Did kind of get the price action. I want to see a solid close below, and then maybe get in on a micro pullback. There's not really any volume in this mess here, though. I think about tightening this up. I could bring my target up some, but didn't get a close below. I want to see a close below. Would have loved to, or would have loved to see this current candle close at the low right there. And I think I'll put an order in. Dollar is starting to push down a little. Did have a rejection there. Dollar down. It's long for the markets. Very neutral day thus far, guys. Very neutral day. This might be the close down, though, that we're looking for. Some consolidation, solid close below. I'll set the order for a micro pullback. 1 minute left in this candle. It'll also be the close of the 5-minute candle. And then we'll have 10 minutes left in this 30-minute candle. What is going on here? $82.50. This was at 81. That's the close. It's going to be the target. There we go. Submit. My order is on. Let's see if we get the pullback. Extreme lows on the tick chart. So we're going to get the pullback on the tick chart to maybe fill this trade. Right, came and tested these lows here on the tick chart. Breaking back down the low, broke down the low, tested the lows here, getting the pullback. Maybe that pullback is what we need for it to fill. If we get it. Stop well above this recent pivot. Not quite to the high on the day, but I think that's even above the overnight high. Might even just basically is the overnight high. I'm not going to scroll that much. 87.50 was the overnight high, so yeah, stop above even the overnight high. So a decent amount of protection there. Certainly even that wide-ranging 15-minute candle. So, right there. So, will we get filled? Will we get filled, or will this trend line hold? I think we're going to take this order off for the moment because of that trend line. It's getting cleanly rejected off of that trend line right now. This one right now, Alex, that I'm showing right now, it's actually this week it's a test. It's an evaluation account that I'm trading this week. Last week I traded my funded. I moved the funded over. We also have a few algorithms that we have trade, and so my funded account is on the algorithms this week. So this is an earn to trade account evaluation that I signed up for on the weekend to trade it today. I kind of jump back and forth depending on how I'm feeling over the weekend going into the week, how I feel about the algos going into the week, and so I have the funded on the algos. right now, and this is an earn to trade. I actually haven't traded earn to trade in a very, very long time. Beto, who's not on with us today, but Beto told me to try earn to trade again because that's what he trades. I had been trading Apex and Lilu most recently. Apex Trader Funding and Lilu Trading. But he likes the way earn to trade allows you to take your money out. With earn to trade, you can literally take your money out the first day that you're funded. If you make money that first day, you can take money out that first day. Where with Lilu and earn to trade, the first payout you have to trade. You have to have at least 25 trading days on Apex. I'm not exactly sure on Lilu if it's also 25 days or 15 days, but it's quite a bit. So part of the reason that I wanted to trade this evaluation account after talking with Beto last week about the earn to trade. So yeah. So trend line is holding right now. No follow through, kind of dying down. Somewhat expected. We kind of talked about it in the pre-market analysis. Monday, no real major news. Major news is on Wednesday. All the major earnings were really last week and the week before. And so nothing to make the market move drastically. We had a nice move on Friday, opened up inside of the range, and are basically still inside of the range. We've only done 35 points on the ES so far, 139 and a quarter on the NQ, so less than half the ATR on the NQ, and basically right at half the ATR on the ES. And so a no trade for me is gonna be fine. I'd rather take no trade than a bad trade. Doesn't mean I'm not going to take a trade. We'll see maybe if we get a breakthrough this trend line and then a retest. Maybe I'll bring this down slightly to get into the trade short. Internals look like they're trying to complete the rollover to the downside. The dollar had a pullback and is trying to push back up, but everything I say changes every 5 freaking minutes. So some indecision out there. That's why, certainly to the upside, I wanted to see a clear break of Friday's high before I get long. That would be a clear signal to me that it wants to go long. Whether it does or not after that clear signal, but that is the clearest signal I can get. Coming and just breaking the overnight high and just breaking Friday's high is not enough of a clear signal. Right? What I'm looking for is a clear signal here. Did I already get it? Yes. Did I chicken out because of the trend line that it was respecting? Yes. Would I have gotten filled? Maybe to the tick, right on my freaking zone there. But I'm not even going to be frustrated about that. It is what it is. I'm going to stay patient, follow my rules. And wait for the proper setup. Well, Alex, yeah, you say 30 days. It's a minimum of 30 days of just, I think, like calendar days, but trading days with Apex, I'm pretty sure is 25 trading days that you have to have before you can take out your first withdrawal. After that, it's 10 trading days, but the first one is 25 trading days. I'm not sure about the 30 days. Maybe that's for Lilu. Right. The funded account that I do is with Apex that I have on the running on the algos right now. So broke the trend line, retesting. Not the best looking price action there. Maybe it looks better on another time frame. Had it on the 5-minute and the retest, but getting rejected off right there. 15-minute rejection up, rejection back down. Trashity trash. Trashity trash. I can think about moving my entry down, and now having this pivot instead of all the way up here. For this to be my pivot, I want to see a break below this low right here, and then I can move this down to somewhere around there, let's say. Like, yeah, 42.68.50 thereabouts, with my stop still above the pivot there, and my target is still above the overnight low here at 49 or whatever it was exactly. Yeah, 42.49 for the overnight low. So I would still have my target above that. My first target, 2-to-1 target. New 30-minute, new hourly. Let's see what this 4-hour looks like. That last 4-hour at 10 o'clock did not close above that. Getting a pullback. Let's see how far this pullback wants to go on this 4-hour. We have some buyers there at these lows. A little bit better volume in that candle. Buyers might be stepping in. The tick chart just goes from its highs to its lows, especially here on the NQ. Highs to lows, highs to lows. If I want to be short, I'd love to see it create a new low, not just come test. The Russell is a sideways mess. About 30 seconds in this 5 minute. See if this 5 minute closes with any significance. Not getting much here on the 2 minute. I'm going to move this back to my original entry, which was 72.50. Or was it just 72? No, it was 72.50. The VIX continues to come down. Dollars sideways, but trying to push up right now. And I'm going to be okay today if I don't take a trade. There are days that I get frustrated not taking a trade, but it's because I missed a setup or didn't take my setup. So far, no real clear setups. So, again, I'd rather not take a trade than take a bad trade. A lower volume day than usual. So we're not going to expect too much of a push to anywhere. Kind of have a wedge that formed. flash even a descending triangle here. We extend that down to there. New 5 minute and 15 seconds. Not getting much of a push here on the 5 minute. Deceiving here on the 2 minute. I hate to have so many lines and shit on my chart. Let's get rid of this trend line already. If you guys are just joining us, my name is George. Welcome to Trading Futures Live. Normally there's Franco and or Beto with me. So usually there's at least 2 or 3 of us on here, but the other 2 couldn't be with us today. Likely won't be with us the rest of the week, unfortunately, but we continue trading. We trade live here. We show you our winners, we show you our losers. We try and be as transparent as possible. We do a pre-market analysis at 9 a.m. and then we go live at 9:25. I trade mostly only the micro ES. The other 2 guys mostly trade the NQ and the MNQ. And our job here is to stay patient and hopefully help you guys stay patient in your trading. Plan your trade. Trade your plan. My biggest issue that I've had to overcome for me personally is FOMO. Each of us here on the channel, the 3 of us, each have different demons that we have to fight through in trading. Mine is mostly FOMO. I don't have any right now, thankfully. But it's something that I'm always trying to deal with and always trying to stay as conscious as possible. It caught me on Friday. I got caught in a FOMO trade on Friday. Jumped into a trade with very little planning, paid the price for it. Thankfully, I was able to come back from it, but it definitely made the comeback that much harder. And so that's also why we normally like to trade as a team, as a group, is so that we can help keep each other in check. And so that's kind of even what I'm counting on you guys for, if I'm going to be rolling solo this week. So finally getting a breakdown. Got about 2 minutes left on this 5 minute. I'm going to bring my entry back down, stop above the pivot, target below the overnight. Do we have any decent volume in anything here? Not really. Let's see if it doesn't leave without us. If it gives us at least a chance to pull back. Gonna wait for this 2 minute to close. Move the entry up slightly. Entry is going to be around 67.75. All right, my order is submitted. Submitted one earlier, took it off as we approached the trend line with no pullback. Let's see if we get some kind of pullback into this trade. My stop is a little bit tighter. I'm going to actually move this up. So my entry is 42.68. Stop at 42.60, risking 8 points. Target basically is down to the overnight low. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, okay. Risking $280 in this trade. Oh, my target is actually, this is a much larger target than it needs to be when it fills the trade. So my target is actually going to be somewhere up here, 52-ish. Much better, actually. Okay. All right, trade is on. Or trade is set, rather. Let's see if we get a pullback to fill. And hopefully that is not the low as we run up to new highs. But my trade is on. All right, my target is the overnight low. I can actually risk up to 7 contracts. I can risk 300 is all I would like to risk. And really, I would like the protection of this full pivot. So let me see if I can, let me do the math real quick on 7 contracts. That math is wrong. Oh. 8.5 points. I can add 2 ticks to this and still be risking less than the $300. We'll leave it there for the moment, though. All right, we're getting a pullback on the tick chart right now. Pretty hard, too. Not exactly what I want to see. I want to see the dollar push up. And I would have loved to see this stop right around there, the tick charts, and come and test these lows. Did make a new low, basically, on that last push down. That kind of gave us the confirmation to get into the trade. I'll likely only take off 5 contracts here at this low. Let another 2 run down to this next level. I have 240, maybe even as far down as this naked POC from Friday down at 42.30 for the last 2 contracts. But I'm certainly getting ahead of myself there. Way ahead of myself. Now, let's put this at the proper 2-to-1, which is, I'm risking 32 ticks right now, so 64 ticks. That's 2-to-1 on this trade. But let's see what the tick chart wants to do. Got about 40 seconds left in this 5-minute. I'm going to go ahead and screenshot this from my journal. And Q is pushing up quite hard right now. Already breaking essentially this trend line on the NQ. Not the best trade right now, that's for sure. Could have waited for the 5-minute to close below, which it did not close below that triangle that I had drawn out. That's annoying. So, a little bit of a rush into this trade, and I'm paying the price for it right now. We had the full, what I hope to be the full pullback on the tick chart here. Let's see if we come back down and test these lows, or if we get rejected off to the upside on the here. If we get rejected off the zero line back up, this trade will not work out. We want to see it come and test these lows again. And I want to see the dollar push up and break that high there. VIX continues to drop though. Yeah, not a great trade. Gonna need to work on my patience Likely should have left my order where it originally was so that I could at least have much more protection. My original entry was 72.50 where I had it placed, with basically the stop was above the overnight high. And like I said, right now I'm paying the price for it. See if the trade works out or not. We're getting a push down here on the tick chart, but need to see it come test these lows. We want to see it come test these lows at the very least. Advanced decline needed to come down. Certainly want to see it hold this trend line there. Want to see the dollar push up. And I'd like to see this VIX go up. But it's pushing back down to the 20. Five-minute close neutral with a little bit of rejection off of there, but the new one looks like it wants to continue to push up. I'm going to move this up the 2 ticks so I can risk up to $300. So give myself that little extra bit of breathing room. And so for this to be 2 to 1, needs to be 68 ticks. So I'm risking 279.50 to make 595 right now. But again, not looking good. The tick chart got stopped right there on the 0 line. Are we going to get rejected up, or are we going to push down? And it is what it is. I accepted the risk when I set the trade. And we need to learn to live with that. Unfortunately, the internals are just not in favor of this trade at all. Not in favor of this trade at all. Certainly, if you look at the 5-minute, I rushed into it. That same descending triangle there, we did not really get a close below on the 5-minute. Closed on it, but I like to see a nice, convincing close below that we got on the 2-minute, but certainly the type of day that 5-minute confirmation would have been well warranted. We weren't necessarily worried about this running without us. At least we shouldn't have been. Starting to get that push on the tick chart to the lows. But I need to see follow through here from the advanced decline. I want to see the advanced decline break to a new low. Break through this negative 1,000. It's been in this friggin' in its own triangle that it hasn't broken out of. And the NQ's like in a wedge over here. That's a quick rejection there off of the lows on the tick chart. Price looks like it wants to run up and test the highs again for sure. Dollar had a push down there. I have this on the 5-minute on another chart. Again, a push down there. Never broke these highs. And the VIX continues to go down. So if you've just been looking at the VIX, you could be long. Absolutely, I could have waited for the 5-minute confirmation. That's gonna be it's gonna be my frustration the rest of today. The patience of the 5-minute. I was patient on my first setup, had it set, got caught in a trend line right here, took it off. Because it didn't give me confirmation on that trend line, and then could have waited for confirmation on the 5-minute. Again, it is what it is. I accepted this risk when I took the trade. But basically I didn't do my full due diligence. Didn't have a break here on the 5-minute, and I am paying the price for it. Got another point or so to get stopped out. And again, this certainly looks like it wants to test these highs up here again. So even my original entry at 72.50 with my stop there wouldn't have necessarily, I don't think it would have gone 1-to-1 here. And certainly the internals look like this wants to go up a little bit more. NQ breaking out of that channel there, that wedge. VIX coming down, dollar coming down. Dollar's kind of been the driver of the direction. Testing the highs here, the recent highs. Testing the overall highs here on the NQ. And I am out. All right, guys, that's a 1-hour loss for me. Frustrating because I didn't get that 5-minute confirmation. And so, again, a no trade would have been better than this shitty trade that I freaking took. And with that, I'm going to go for a walk and walk this off. Thank you guys for joining us this morning. Remember, we'll be back 9 a.m. tomorrow, Trading Futures Live. We show you our winners. We show you our losers. Got a $297 loser. Quite frustrating. We'll see if maybe I take something a little bit later. But I'm going to try and stay away today because, again, like we talked about in the pre-market, not much going on in the news today. No real reason for this to break out in any direction. And so we live to fight another day, right? 1-hour loss is certainly recoverable. I can easily take a 2 or 3-hour winner, make that all back tomorrow and then some. And so stay patient, guys. Plan your trades. Try not to get caught in anything because of greed or FOMO. And we will catch you guys tomorrow, 9 a.m. pre-market analysis. 9:25, we go live. Deuces.